Maryland's Cafe Society. For Maryland's Cafe Society.
Oh my goodness, I crack up every time I hear myself laugh. All right, all right, all right. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to Maryland's Cafe Society right here on YouTube. Welcome to another show, everybody. Listen, it is the 38th day of 2023. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, in case you didn't know, today is Tuesday. It's the 7th day of February 2023. And how are you? How are you doing? Are you still thinking about those white balloons as I am? Oh my goodness, I don't know. Out of all the things that happened in the past week, that one just sticks out, hearing about spy balloons and white balloons, and you're just wondering what in the world. And then, I jumped online and started reading up on this, and it turns out it's not the first time that China has sent balloons here in the United States. And so, in fact, I read that the balloons had come and gone when, our national security discovered that they, had actually even come into our airspace. But anyway, this time they were spotted and followed, and there's a lot of hoopla surrounding it all. But I read a piece also in the New York Times that talked about how this was a tactic that the United States government used, maybe 50, 60 years ago when they were spying on other countries, sending balloons in their airspace. I don't know. I'm still learning about all of this, but again, I just, I just shook my head and went, wow, here we go. All right. Well, other than the white balloons, what are you thinking about those? What have you been doing in the last week or so? I have been keeping myself busy. In fact, the show is a little bit delayed today because I got distracted earlier today. I have these plants and it's time to repot them because they're outgrowing the pots that they're in now. And I know I had some larger pots somewhere around here. And so I got a little distracted earlier today trying to locate those pots and, preparing to do the repotting at some point. And then some other things distracted me. But here we are on the show. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Maryland's Cafe Society. Well, let's jump right into news because we don't have cafe talk. And these are just a couple of stories that jumped out at me. And of course, the devastation that is happening over in Turkey and Syria. Rescuers are scrambling. The death toll has surpassed, as of the time of this recording, 7,500. And according to a warning from the World Health Organization, the death toll from that powerful earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria on Monday could rise above 20,000. That is just so traumatic and devastating to hear. And on top of all of that, freezing temperatures and aftershocks are slowing the process, slowing the efforts to rescue people who are trapped under collapsed buildings. And of course, the world, as human beings always do, the world is, traveling there. Representatives from every country is sending people there. Supplies and support is pouring in to help them as they deal with the tragic situation that's happening there in Turkey and Syria. And certainly we send our prayers and thoughts out to the people in those countries. Back here in the United States, our Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen recently took a confident stance that the nation could avoid a recession And, this is after learning that more than 500,000 jobs were added in the month of January, that, of course, brought the unemployment to a 50-year low. Yes. So that is good news. And she further said that she sees, and quote, a path in which inflation is declining significantly, end quotes. You all, that is good news for most Americans. We need that. And prayerfully, she is correct. I think, this whole situation is a correction. Everything's kind of working itself out, and some corrections are taking place in the economy. And we're going to be fine. We are going to be fine. So let's just hold on to that good news and look for things to turn around. And just as a reminder, President Biden will be delivering his second State of the Union address in a few hours, just a few hours, and it will air on most major broadcast channels as well as cable news channels and even streaming services. So, let's tune in and see what he has to say, what his report is for us here in the United States. And in other news, well, listen, I'm still kind of reeling, as they say, over the 64th or 65th Grammy Award show that took place on Sunday. I know. Those who have been with me for forever, and particularly those who know me forever, that I love music. I grew up on all kinds of music, was introduced to jazz and gospel at a very early age, as well as the blues, and transitioned into R&B and soul, and then of course this. By the way, I do not own rights to this song. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Yeah. The 50th anniversary of hip hop was a highlight of the Grammys on Sunday. And of course, it was a memorable moment when Questlove was able to curate a 14-minute tribute and celebration to the 50th anniversary of hip hop. And my goodness, it was something to see for those who really, grew up on hip hop and loved the music. And, they kind of took everybody on this journey from the early days of hip hop, and of course, transitioned to hip hop now, rap now. But it was amazing to see. And of course, that closing performance of God Did by DJ Khaled, which included Jay-Z, Rick Ross, John Legend, Lil Wayne, and others. It was just jaw dropping. But one of the biggest highlights is that the world witnessed Beyonce break the record for the most Grammy wins of all time. She now has 32 Grammys, everyone. Yeah, and I think Sir George Solti follows her with 31. So, my goodness, it's just a win-win for her all the time. Now, by the way, we all know that she has recently announced her next world tour, and I recently learned about the story behind the disco ball cowboy hat that she's wearing in her Renaissance tour announcement, the picture. Yeah. So it's a cute little story. She actually, or her people, purchased the hat from a young Etsy merchant who is working out of her parents' basement, and she creates these um, items to put on Etsy for sale. And the cowboy hat was one of the items that she had posted for sale. And of course, Beyonce liked it, and her people reached out and ordered it. And from what I'm hearing, all of them have sold out now. So she certainly put that young lady on the map and is definitely helping her business. But back to the Grammys. So another highlight was Viola Davis. Yeah, she won an award for Best Audio Narration and Storytelling Recording for her memoir, Finding Me. And of course, that win gave her EGOT status, which means she now has a collection of an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. So, congratulations to her on that win. And, I'm focusing on all the people of color because, after all, everybody, it is February, Black History Month. But I do want to add this one for everyone else. Ben Affleck was a highlight in the Grammy show this past Sunday. He was in attendance with his wife, Jennifer Lopez, who seemed to be having a blast. But Ben Affleck didn't seem to be enjoying himself too well, or he just was wearing a poker face, one of the two. But he quickly became a breakout meme for his bored and disinterested expressions that he, exhibited throughout the evening. And so just go to social media, you'll see some of them. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. That 65th Grammy Awards show was really, really good. And I enjoyed it from start to finish. And just wanted to highlight some of those moments with you. All right. So Disney Plus Worldwide recently announced on Monday, as a matter of fact, that Black Panther Wakanda Forever is now the most watched Marvel film on its platform. Congratulations to them. That is good news. All right. And now we're going to get to the Super Bowl. This is relatable for everybody, right? So, Fox announced yesterday that commercial airtime for Super Bowl 57 is all booked up. And listen to this, a lot of those pricey ad slots went to alcohol companies. Go figure, right? All right. So Anheuser-Busch, which is the parent company of Budweiser and Stella Artois and even Natty Light, relinquished their exclusive Super Bowl alcohol advertising rights. Yeah, they're no longer exclusive um, in terms of having that exclusivity clause so that the Super Bowl can't sell any other allow any other alcoholic beverage brands to advertise on the Super Bowl. And they've held that right since 1989. So I don't know. I don't know what the thinking was. Did they just decide they were no longer going to um, advertise, period, on the Super Bowl? We'll find out. We'll find out. That's coming up later. But listen, that opened the door, however, them ending that exclusivity right has opened up the door for other brands to um, get front and center in front of what 100 million viewers that the Super Bowl is estimated to have, the Super Bowl game. And so some of those other brands include Miller Brands at Molson Coors, Heineken, Remy Martin, as well as Crown Royal. Now back to Anheuser-Busch. Just because they gave away their exclusivity rights, which cost probably double what they, anyone else would normally pay for the advertising. They're still going to run some ads in the game, and some of those will be joint ventures. And then there's some other familiar brands that are not alcoholic brands that will also be in some joint ads with them that include the Doritos, Pepsi, Netflix, and even General Motors. Now, it's also being reported that you may not see Barclays and Pizza Hut ads on the Super Bowl, or during the Super Bowl game, I should say, this coming Sunday. So we'll just have to wait and see how that all plays out. But just some Super Bowl updates for you. And speaking of those advertisements, the crypto was the rising star of last year's Super Bowl commercial breaks. But this year, celebrities will promote crypto for exactly 0 seconds. There will be no crypto advertising this year. And of course, according to Fox executives, several crypto companies had ads in the works for this year's Super Bowl game, but They all pulled the plug after that big FTX collapse, which of course dragged down the entire crypto industry. And so, um, for now, there's a pause on the crypto company ads during Super Bowl Sunday. And again, that's going to be this coming Sunday, February 12th on Fox TV. And of course, the kickoff time will be at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, 6:30 Eastern Time. All right. All right. So I guesstimate, let's see, football is a slower paced game than basketball. So if kickoff is at 5:30 Central Time, 6:30, what, maybe 7ish, the halftime show may start. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, so for those who tune in for the halftime show, I would say 7ish. Tune in around 7ish to catch the halftime show, of course, with Rihanna. All right. And, once Super Bowl Sunday is over, everyone can get their focus back to Valentine's Day. And of course, that's going to be 1 week from today, everybody. And so I hope that you got your date night plans and reservations all booked and set, because I'm sure it's going to be pretty busy. We're what, in year 3 of this pandemic, although it's all kind of winding down. Um, and so, more and more people are getting out and about, and things are getting really back to normal. And so there's probably going to be, even now, there may be some reservations that you just can't make because you waited too late. All right. So you're just gonna have to get creative and come up with some other things. But in terms of candy, if you haven't gotten your candy, for those who like to shop for candy for Valentine's Day, anything that's made by Nestle, you need to go get it right away, because they are preparing to increase their prices this year to offset production costs, they say. So um yeah, and get it right away if you haven't already gotten the candy. All right, all right. And let's see, do I have anything else? I think that's all I have for today. Yeah, like I said, I have delay in getting this show together for you guys, but I did want to, of course, make an appearance, say hello, and just remind you what our word is. We are in a new month for 2023, and we are it's month of February, and so we're revisiting the word that was introduced back in 2021 for the month of February, and that is quiddity. And it means the inherent nature, the distinctive feature or essence of someone or something. All right, quiddity. Okay, so let's meditate and focus on that word and try to use it. I know some of these words sound outdated, and to be quite honest, they are, but to me, they just really spoke to me when I um, decided to start this segment for the show. And I was just looking at words and doing the research on words. And so, I don't know, the definition really is what resonated with me when I selected the words. And so, quiddity is the word we'll be focusing on for February. The inherent nature, distinctive feature, or essence of someone or something. All right. Let's put it to use, everybody. And before we go, just once again, want to remind you, you can promote your business, your service, your product, your brand, whatever it is, here on the show with me. And you can support that upcoming Christmas giveaway that we start in October. Just send an email to producer at marilynscafesociety.com for all the details. And remember to visit the website, marilynscafesociety.com. That's where you can connect with me on the social media platforms, the blog, and of course, right here at YouTube. And before you go, make sure that you subscribe, share, and like this particular show. And join the email club. Yeah, that's something that I started. It's been going strong for a while now. Mondays with Marilyn on the email. And of course, just send it to Marilyn's Cafe Society at yahoo.com. Marilyn's Cafe Society at yahoo.com. And in the subject, you can just say, sign me up. Sign me up, and I'll know what that means. All right. All right. And so before we go, I do want to tell you what love is for this week and maybe for the rest of the month. All right. Love is Black or African American, or for those who may be stuck in a time machine, Negro. Black, African American, or Negro History Month. How about it? That's what love is. All right, everybody. Well, if you don't do anything else this week, be sure that you live, you laugh, and you love. As always, it's a pleasure and a privilege to hang out. And I'll see you on the next show. Peace.